Today we're going to be working with slope-intercept form of linear equations. Slope-intercept form is in the form of y equals mx plus b, where the m stands for our slope and the b stands for our y-intercept. Remember that the slope is the constant rate of change. And then our y-intercept, or the intercept, is the y-coordinate. Of the point where the line crosses the y-axis. So let's find the slope and y-intercept for the following functions. We have y equals negative 3x plus 1, so our m, which is our slope, is negative 3, and our b, which is our y-intercept, equals 1. So for the next one, our slope, which is m, is 2/3. Our y-intercept, which is b, is 6. So this one, our slope, which equals m, there's a negative sign in front of the x, which means we have a negative 1. So b equals a negative 6. So here, before we can start doing that, we need to put this equation into slope-intercept form. So first we need to distribute our 5. So that means 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times negative 3 is a negative 15x. So then our last step, in order to get this into slope-intercept form, is to divide everything by negative 2. So we can get our y by itself. So y equals 30 divided by a negative 2 is a negative 15, minus negative 15 divided by negative 2 is actually a positive. We want to keep it as a fraction and it's in reduced form, so positive 15 over 2. So now to find our slope remember is our m, which is connected to our x. We're being multiplied by x, so it means our slope is 15 divided by 2. And our y-intercept is our negative 15. So now let's go in reverse. We want to write the equation of a line that has the given slope and y-intercept. So we have y equals, our slope is 4, so times x, plus our 2/9. So this one we have y equals our slope of 0 times x minus 2. But we know 0 times x is 0, and 0 minus 2 is still a negative 2. For our last one, y equals, our slope is a negative 2/5 times by x. Y-intercept is a negative 5. So now what happens when we're given a graph and we want to write the slope-intercept form for each of the graphs? So we still need to know and identify our slope and our y-intercept. So on our graph we want to look at slope by doing our rise over 1. So if we start at our left point, we're going up 3, and we're running over to the right 4. So we have a slope of 3/4. Our y-intercept is where the line crosses our y-axis, and it crosses it at a positive 1. So we have y equals 3/4 times x plus 1. So let's look at this example. Our slopes, we have a point here, point there. So to find our slope, if we start at our left point, we're going down 2, so it's a negative. We're running over 3. So our slope is a negative 2/3 because we're going down. It's a negative slope. And our y-intercept, where it crosses this line, is at a negative 2. So we have the equation y equals negative 2/3 x minus 2. So now let's look at what happens when we have slope-intercept form and we want to graph that equation. So the first thing we want to graph is our y-intercept, and our y-intercept is a negative 3. So we find negative 3 on our y-axis, plot our point. And our slope tells us that we have a 1/3, so that means we are going up a positive 1 and running over 3. So this next one, our y-intercept is at a negative 1. Our slope is 2, which means we go up 2. And remember, with a whole number, we have that invisible 1 because 2 divided by 1 is a 2. So that means we are running over 1. So up 2 over 1. With this one, our y-intercept is a positive 4. Our slope is a negative 1, so it means we are going down 1 to the right 1. So it's a negative 1, but there's that 1 underneath. This equation is not in slope-intercept form, so to get there, we need our 3x to be on the other side. So we do that by subtracting it to both sides. So 3x minus 3x cancel out, so we're left with 2y equals 0 minus 3x is just a negative 3x. Divide both sides by 2. So y equals a negative 3 halves x. So right now we don't have a b, which means our y-intercept then is 0 because it's not there. And we have a negative 3 over 2 slope, so we're going down 3 to the right 2. And our last one, y-intercept is at a positive 5. So I'm at positive 5. Here we have a slope of a negative 0.5, which is just a negative 1/2. So that means I'm going down 1 to the right 2. And graph. So we have a candle. It's originally 12 inches tall, and after 30 minutes, the height of the candle is 8 inches. So I know my minutes are going to go on the bottom, because that's my independent variable. And my height, which is my inches, will go on my y-axis because it's my dependent, because the height of our candle depends on how long it's been running, or been burning for. So we need to draw a graph of the situation. So when we first buy this candle, we haven't burned it. It's 12 inches tall. So that's where we start. After 30 minutes, it's now 8 inches tall. So here's our graph of the situation. So now we need to write a linear function. So if we take a look, our slope is we're going down 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going down 4. And we're running over, it looks like we're running over 3, but if you take a look, we're going by 10, so we're actually running over 30. But in order to look at this, we need to reduce it. So if negative 4 over 30 is really a negative 2 over 15. So our slope is negative 2 over 15, x. And our y-intercept, where it crosses, is at a positive 12. So how many minutes will the candle burn out? So if we take a look here, we can do this one of two ways. We can do it with an equation or by looking at the graph, and I'm going to show you both. So if we kept looking at the equation, we know our slope is we're going down 4 and over 30. So if we kept extending our line, then we're going down 4 again, over 30. So if we kept extending this, our graph is telling us it's going to take 90 minutes in order for this candle to burn out, which is really an hour and a half. Now let's look at how we can do it with the equation if you prefer that way. So in order for it to burn out, that means the candle doesn't have any more height. It's a 0, which is our y-axis. That means 0 inches equals negative 2/15 x plus 12. So now we have a two-step equation. So subtract 12 to both sides. 0 minus 12 is a negative 12. Equals negative 2/15 times x. So now, in order for me to solve for x, I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2/15, because right now I'm multiplying it to x. So if I take my calculator, we have negative 12 divided by negative 2/15, which equals 90.